If you found your way to this video, I'm going to assume that you're at that point in your business where you realize that content marketing generates massive ROI, but you're also at the point where you realize it is really time consuming and not your core activity. So you're looking at hiring a content creator to do all of that for you. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire step-by-step to outsourcing your content creation process, all the way from what types of questions you need to ask yourself before even hiring someone, to where to actually go to find your content creator, and then how to train them the right way after you have signed the contract. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get updates on future videos. And then let's talk a little bit about who I am and why you should trust me around the topic of outsourcing. So hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Yoka and I'm the founder of Unbound Creative Agency. I am a content creator myself, but also a marketeer, and I have built and scaled my agency by outsourcing the process of content creation. So Unbound Creative Agency is a creative content agency, but the entire content process is handled by my team of video editors and graphic designers and content marketeers. So I went from doing it all by myself to actually hiring people in a bunch of different countries and figuring out how to train them. And I stumbled upon a lot of issues along the way and figured out how to solve them. And in this video, I'm going to be walking you through the things that I feel you should look out for when hiring someone or when outsourcing your content creation to someone, because it is actually a really simple process, but it is not easy if you're just getting started. There are little hiccups along the way, and in this video I'm going to sort of point those out to you and give you a clear process to follow to make your outsourcing journey a success. So without further ado, let's dive in and let's get you started on your outsourcing journey. First up, there are a couple of questions that you should be asking yourself before even hiring someone or before posting a job post for a content creator. And those questions are the following. Question number one is, what tasks do I want my content creator to perform? This is something that I run into with a lot of people that book calls for me or that ask me for help when it comes to outsourcing their social media process or content marketing process, is that they are looking for one person to do it all, which is very unlikely that you'll find one person to be able to video edit and edit your podcast and create graphics for social media and be great at writing captions and schedule your social media content. So before you go and hire someone, write down a list of all the tasks that eventually you would like to outsource, and be very specific, because managing your social media can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Because managing your social media can mean you just need to schedule my posts. It could also mean you need to be able to work in Canva and create graphics. You need to have perfect English to write my captions. You need to know about hashtag research, etc. So become hyper clear on all the individual tasks that you would like to outsource to your content creator. Then the second question that you need to ask yourself is, do I know how to perform these tasks myself? And the reason that you're asking yourself this question is because you need to know whether or not you will be able to train a person on how to perform these tasks correctly. If you do not know anything about content marketing, if you do not know anything about video editing or how to manage Instagram, you are gonna need to find someone who has a bunch of experience in doing that already, so that they can actually teach you how to do it, that they can actually take you through the process. If you do know how to do all of these tasks yourself, that is great, because that means you will be able to hire someone more entry level and train them to eventually be able to perform these tasks really well. Question number 3 is, how much content do you want this content creator to be creating for you on a weekly basis and eventually on a monthly basis? I would say start calculating it on a weekly basis. Sort of look at all the social media platforms that you're active on, how many posts a week that you want to do on all of them, and then multiply it by 4.33, because that's the amount of weeks in a month. And become really, really clear on that, because you need to know how much content that you need on a monthly basis to then answer question number 4, which is how much time would it realistically take a content creator to create that amount of content for you? And the reason that you want to think about this beforehand is because based on the answer of that question, you will either need to hire someone for a couple of hours a week, part-time or full-time. And that's a really important thing to include in your job post, because certain freelancers or certain content creators are only available a couple more hours a week, or some people are looking specifically for a full-time position. So that is something that you will have to consider before even writing your job post. Question number 5 is, what is my overall goal or strategy for my content? What are you trying to achieve by creating this content? It's something that you need to know for yourself before you're going to be able to hire someone, because you want this content creator to understand your vision, to understand where you're going, so that they can create the appropriate content to get you there. Now, again, this will sort of depend on what kind of experience level that you're looking to hire, because someone who's just getting started will probably not know how to translate your marketing goals into effective content. That's also something to keep in mind. It's not because you hire a content creator that they are marketeers. Often they know how to video edit, they know how to use Canva, they might know how to schedule social media posts, but they don't understand the bigger picture behind the content creation process. So that is also something to keep in mind. It is something that you will either have to really train someone on, or you're going to have to look at hiring a content marketeer and then maybe train them on the content creation skills, because being a content marketer and a content creator are two very different things. So keep that in mind when you hire. I've seen it happen often that people hire content creators and then they don't really like the quality or the intention behind the posts that are being created or the content that's being created. And then they get frustrated and they think that outsourcing isn't for them, or they think that hiring a virtual assistant and training them isn't for them. Nothing's further from the truth. You just have to keep in mind, again, a content creator isn't necessarily a content marketeer. You have to really know where you want your content to take you, what your goal is, so that you can then translate that strategy to the person that you hire, that you can explain to them, hey, this is my overall goal for my social media, for my content, for my YouTube channel. This means that we're going to have to be creating content in these types of formats. Some of them will be inspirational, some of them will be educational, and you're going to have to translate that vision to your content creator, not the other way around. Again, if you are not experienced in content marketing, you might actually want to hire an agency to do this for you and not just outsource to a content creator, or you might want to pay a one-time fee to a content marketer to create a strategy for you, and then outsource to a content creator to sort of fulfill that strategy. But again, something to keep in mind. This is something where I see a lot of frustration happen when people first start outsourcing. Then question number 6 is, what is my budget? Now, this is really important. I see a lot of people wanting to get let's say a $10,000 result, but they're only willing to pay $100. So you have to be realistic there. Like, if your budget is only $300 or euros full time, first off, you're going to have to look at outsourcing to Asia or Africa or South America, but you're also going to have to keep in mind that you're not going to get the same results as if you were paying $3,000 or euros a month to someone to create your content. So be realistic with that. You can still get amazing results for 300 euros a month. I'm not saying that it's not possible. Just be realistic that if you're going to be paying on the lower end of the scale, it's going to involve a lot more training from your end to get to that high quality content. And they're probably not going to be as experienced as when you're paying 3,000 euros or dollars a month. Another reason that you want to become really clear on your budget is because it will save you a bunch of time. When we post our job posts, we already include the salary that we're willing to pay, and this will automatically disqualify anyone that is looking for a higher salary. Because what I want to avoid is that you hop on a bunch of calls with people and then they're proposing you double the price of what you initially intended to pay or what your budget is. Especially when you first get started and you don't really know what a correct pricing structure is or what a correct salary structure is. You really just want to look at what is your budget, what are you able to pay, start from there, and then along the way you sort of will learn what that will get you in terms of quality, in terms of time investment from your content creator. Just make sure that you know what your budget is so that you can include it in your job post, and that way you only have to hop on calls with people that actually know, hey, this is their budget, and that's something that I'm willing to adhere to. Step number 2 in your outsourcing journey or outsourcing process is actually writing your job post. So when I first started out, I really overthought this process. Writing a job post is not that complicated. I will ask our editor to put one of our job listings on the screen here so that you can see it. It basically is just a little explanation about who you are, who your business or what your business is about, what you're looking for. You list the skills and qualifications that you require for your content creator. And then what I like to do at the bottom of the job post is include a sentence that says, in my case, I always do the same sentence. I say like, hey, if you read this entire job post, make sure to include the word giraffe. I don't know why I use giraffe, but I do. So I tell them to include the word giraffe in their job application. Now, the reason that I do that is when you post on the websites that I'm going to be listing in a minute, you get a lot of applications. A lot of people apply, and the majority have not read your job post. So the majority of people on these websites, what they do is they go in and let's say they're a video editor, they will search all the job posts for video editor and then just literally send the same application to all of them without reading it, without adapting anything. I don't want that. I want someone who has taken the time to actually read my job post, to actually read the description of what they need to be able to do. And I want to know that they've read it all the way to the bottom and that they have great attention to detail, which is something that you would want in a content creator. And so I ask them, hey, include this word in your application. And then the next day when I open up my inbox, I automatically delete every application that does not include that word, simply because attention to detail is really important when it comes to content creation. You do not want spelling mistakes in your captions. You do not want missing words in your captions for your Instagram reels or double takes in your video edits. So you need someone who's able to pay attention to detail. So just for yourself, to save yourself a lot of time and to not have to go through endless amounts of applications that have not been customized to your business, make sure that you include a tiny detail and ask them to include that in their application. So step number 3 is actually going out and finding your content creator or posting your job post to some online platforms. And so if you're really just getting started and you're just looking for someone for a couple of hours a week, or you just need someone to edit YouTube videos, I would say give Fiverr a try. There are a lot of people already on the platform that have specific offers that you can buy. You don't even need to write a job post at this point. It's a great way to get started and just sort of test some stuff out in a very inexpensive way. Second way would be to post your job posts on Upwork.com. Upwork is a great database for freelancers all across the world, not just for content creation, for all types of freelance jobs. So you would go and post your job on there, and then people will be able to apply to that job post on Upwork itself. Another way to go is to use Facebook groups. There are a bunch of Facebook groups for VAs or outsourcing. Simply go to Facebook and even just look at the Facebook groups that you're in. If you are a realtor, just ask around in realtor groups and ask, hey, does anyone know a content creator? Does anyone know this? Does anyone know a service that's great with VAs? If you are in digital marketing, same thing, just look for digital marketing groups and then ask around in there. And then the final one is the one that we use to hire everyone at the agency, and it's actually to go to local job boards. So depending on the country that you would want to hire in, you would find a local website where you could then post your job post and start recruiting people that way. So I know people that hire in Africa and they post on local job boards over there. I like to hire in Southeast Asia, and so I post on job boards over there and find my people. The majority of the people in my team are from the Philippines. So that is also a way to go. Now, if you want to know how we help entrepreneurs create 100 plus pieces of content in 90 minutes or less, aka how we generated over 200 million in high ticket sales last year alone for our clients, all through organic content, there is a link in the description down below that will give you access to our free training. It's a completely free training where we explain how we use content processes, how we outsource, how we structure everything so that you can create massive amounts of content each and every month, and it's content that actually generates sales. So if that's something that you're interested in, there is a link in the description down below. It's completely without obligation, completely for free, and you can even see the processes that we use in our agency, and feel free to copy them in your own business. Now, step number 4 and step number 5 are 2 steps that you can do like in both orders. For me, I like my step number 4 to be trial tasks. So this is where I ask the applicants that I like to perform some trial tasks. Very often we pay for this, especially when it comes to video editing, because it's time consuming. Sometimes when we really do get like 200 applicants for a job, we will ask people to devote 1 hour of their time to do a test, and it will be an unpaid test. You can sort of see what feels comfortable for you. I wouldn't advise asking people to work for you for a full day for free. Don't do that. At least pay people for their time. But if it's like half an hour to take an assessment or do a little graphic design in Canva, you can ask if they're willing to do that. Now, step number 5 is to then hop on calls with the people that have passed the trial tasks. The reason that I said you can sort of reverse the order of step 4 and 5 is that I also know people that want to hold a call first and then ask for trial tasks. The reason that we don't do that, again, is because we get so many applicants, and let's say we get 200 applicants and there are 30 or 40 that qualify based on resume and sort of the portfolio that they sent us. I do not want to hold 30 or 40 calls. So instead, I will ask them to perform the trial tasks first. That will narrow it down to, let's say, 7 people, because often in the trial tasks, you can already see whether or not it's the right fit. And then I will hop on calls with the remaining 6-7 people and choose from there. Now, there are 2 things that you want to keep in mind on the interview. So something that we do on each and every interview is we ask people to test their internet speed while on the call. So we hold a Zoom call and then we ask them to go to a specific website to test their internet speed, share their screen with us while they do it, so that we can get a good idea of what their internet speed would be like when they're working for us on a daily basis. Now, the reason that we do that is we do a lot of video editing. That requires a lot of downloading and uploading of footage. If their internet speed is really, really slow, they will spend the majority of their time downloading and uploading footage, and that's like not the point. So we need to know that they have sufficient internet speed to perform their job well. And then the second thing that you want to test on the call, and that's something that sort of just happens as you are going, is their English skills. So, and this is a fun anecdote. I even had it happen to me a couple of months ago. I was going back and forth with a guy from Ukraine for a graphic design position, and the messaging was going really, really well. The guy's English was great. And then I asked him to hop on a call, and he then said, I can hop on a call so that you can see me, but my English isn't good enough to talk to you, which confused me. He then admitted that he was using DeepL to translate his messages that he was sending to me. And at that point, unfortunately, we couldn't continue with his application because we need people who are able to watch English YouTube videos and turn it into Instagram carousels or graphics. And we will not brief them exactly on the text that needs to be on those graphics or on those carousels. So we need someone with very, very strong English skills. So this is something that, of course, you test indirectly on the call, but it's having that call is crucial, because keep in mind that people can use autocorrect, Grammarly, DeepL to make it seem like their English is really, really fluent in messages. And then you'll realize, oh, no, it's not, when you're on the call. So make sure that you don't hire anyone unless you've spoken to them on a call, that you've seen their face, and that you can actually test their English skills in an actual conversation. Then step number 6 is to actually hire and train your content creator. And I cannot stress enough how important it is that you allocate time to actually train this person. No one knows how to do things the way that you do unless you train them on how they should be doing it. No one knows how to sort of create your vision unless you train them on what the vision is. So when you hire someone, don't assume that they already know how to create your content exactly the way that you want it created. So instead, what I advise you to do is create standard operating procedures and create them for each and every piece of content that you want to be creating. So if you want to create Instagram Reels, have a document or a tutorial, a video tutorial ready that explains them, hey, these are some example reels of other people that I really like. This is the font that I want you to use. These are the colors that I want you to use. I want you to position the cover of this Instagram reel like this, like that. The more specific that you can get, the more step by step that you can explain something, the better the end result. Same thing goes for scheduling. Explain to someone what your upload schedule is like, what scheduling tools they should use. Each and every part of your content creation process, you need to be able to explain to them how to do it. And it is your job to train them. I would say, especially in the first 2 months of working with someone, if something is not coming out the way that you want it to, assume that it's because you explained it badly. Like, instead of turning it around and assuming that the other person is not doing a good job, ask yourself, did I explain it correctly? Did I spend enough time training someone? If you want to make outsourcing work for you, if you want to start building a team, you're going to have to develop the skill set of training people, of translating what is in your head to another person so that they can then do it for you. And that can be a very frustrating process at first, a very time-consuming process at first, but keep in mind that if you do that well for the first 30 to 60 days when someone joins your team, you can then literally let them fly by themselves. So that's what happened for me as well. A lot of people come to me now saying like, oh, wow, it's great. You have this entire team and they run the day-to-day operations of your agency and you don't really have to put out fires anymore. And yes, that's true. But it took me 2 to 3 years to get there, to have a fully functioning team and to learn all of that. And so that's also why I'm creating this video, so that you can sort of skip a lot of that trial and error. But I can't stress enough that your team will only be as good as you make them, as you train them to be. So keep that in mind after you hired your content creator, that the training of your content creator is an entire process in itself as well. Now, another way to go would be to outsource to an agency, and that is something that we can help you with. So we already have an entire in-house team in place that does podcast editing, video editing, graphic design, social media management, and all my people have been trained to uphold a certain standard and they know how to do their job well. And so if you want to skip the entire process of having to learn how to outsource and having to learn how to train, and you just want to hire an entire team that is ready to go and ready to work with you already, there is a link in the description below where you can book a call with someone on our team. Might be me, might be someone else by the time that you watch this video. So we would love to help you out on this if that sounds fun and aligned for you, just book in a call and let's see if we are the right fit for you. Then if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else who might be able to use it. And then in the meantime, check out these videos over here and I will see you in the next one.